What happened at God Valley? Well, according to Sengoku, Monkey D. Garp and Goldie Roger teamed up and defeated the Rocks Pirates. Except, this doesn't make any sense. And now, thanks to Film Red spoilers, we now know that Silver's Rayleigh was also there. I'm not sure if other people were there as well, but it does confirm what the story has been implying. Roger and Garp did not solo the Rocks Pirates. 38 years ago on God Valley, the Rocks Pirates were rampaging and destroying celestial dragons and their slaves. That was until the hero of the Marines bravely stepped forward to take them down. This is the way the story is commonly told because the government likes to make themselves look good and honorable, but as we all know, Goldie Roger was there to help. However, it's pretty obvious Sengoku is still holding back a lot of information. If Rocks was Roger's strongest opponent ever, how did him and Garp defeat Rocks and his entire crew? That would mean Rocks is weak, which is clearly not implied. I think a lot of people want to believe that Garp and Roger can solo these characters, but that's just ridiculous. It's not happening. Whitebeard and Shiki are two people who have gone toe-to-toe with Roger. Whitebeard actually has more evidence to being stronger than Roger. They were called equals. We've seen them match hockey, but only one of them can destroy the world, so take that as you will. Kaido and Big Mom are definitely capable of taking on Roger and Garp, especially when you consider these two are the most durable characters in the series. The story goes into extreme detail to emphasize the durability of these characters, so this is something a lot of people overlook. Kaido and Big Mom's physical might is literally just ridiculous. However, we also have to remember Big Mom and Kaido are not fighting in their primes, so this doesn't even translate to the power they have in Wano. In order to understand what happened at God Valley, we first need to understand what the Rocks Pirates truly were. The Rocks Pirates were formed in order to create a money-making scheme on the island of Fulalead. The Rocks Pirates are not your ordinary crew. Sengoku says they teamed up for one big score. The Rocks Pirates were an assembly of the strongest pirates Rocks could find. We even see him recruit a young Kaido because he was impressed by his strength. After Kaido destroyed a bunch of Rocks subordinates, Rocks literally recruited Kaido as an apprentice. This is an important detail because it might give us an idea of what Rocks was like as a person. If you look at Shanks and Roger, or Kaido and Jack, we can see that apprentices usually share a lot of similarities to their captains, which makes a lot of sense. So going off of Kaido's personality, we can assume Rocks was a powerful and violent pirate. We also know that the Rocks Pirates were a meritocracy, the same as Kaido's Beast Pirates, and as Sengoku said, the Rocks Pirates were extremely dangerous and violent towards each other, so I would bet my life savings that Rocks is basically the same as Kaido. So how did Rocks recruit all of these powerful pirates? The answer is simple. All of them needed money. 38 years ago, Big Mom and Kaido were not in their primes, and they didn't have the type of resources they do now, so we can assume that none of these characters are at full potential in terms of strength and in terms of building their empire. Big Mom asked Kaido if it was his first time teaming up with Rocks, almost like this operation is a team up rather than an actual pirate crew. Big Mom doesn't even trust him, so she definitely is only following him because of money. She literally tells Kaido not to trust Rocks. And when it comes to Kaido, he was all alone in the world and nobody cared about him. And Rocks asked him to join, and it might have been the first time Kaido actually felt respected by somebody. So this is most likely why Kaido joined Rocks. Money is probably another reason, but as we know, he really only values strength. Even since he was 10 years old, he's just been a monster of combat. Money is definitely a big reason, but I think another reason is that Kaido just wants to be loved by somebody. I think really that's what it is, because if we go back to his flashback, he's getting used like a lapdog. The government wants to take him in and use him as a weapon, like a political tool. He doesn't have any friends, family. We don't see any of that. So I would assume that maybe Kaido just wants to stop being used as like a weapon. As for Whitebeard, the reason he joined has to do with his past. Whitebeard originally came from a very poor island, and it was revealed through Marco that Whitebeard would send back money in order to help. He sent them dirty money, and this is obviously the money he was making from the scheme of the Rocks Pirates and also his time as the Whitebeard captain. Now, from chapter 964, Whitebeard explains to Odin that he should not be under him because he's too strong, and too many pirates like that in one crew is a bad thing. So this is Whitebeard explaining that the Rocks Pirates were too powerful to get along. Whitebeard is basically saying that him and his other commanders probably used to fight all the time. And this makes sense because Kaido and Big Mom are said to be like oil and water, and they probably fought a lot back in the old days. Kaido doesn't seem like he likes Whitebeard too much. He was probably coming to Marineford to murder him, so I think it's fair to assume that Kaido and Whitebeard have fought before along with Shiki. The Beast Pirates is a pretty crazy crew, but the Rocks Pirates is literally the greatest meritocracy in history. Now, what this shows is that Rocks' commanders were basically the strongest of the strongest. They had to fight their way to the top. You're not just going to be one of Rocks' top commanders if you're not strong. And if you look at the Road to Lafto databook, it actually says that Kaido was a very dominant force on the Rocks Pirates. So a lot of people like to say Kaido was very weak. No, he wasn't. He was literally a dominant force. He was one of the strongest, even at 15 with no devil fruit, right? So it does show that the commanders have to go through a lot to become commanders, but at the same time, it shows that they were not good together. and that is how rocks fell. Now, if you look at Kaido's flashback, people reacting to the incident point out that rocks fell. Some people point out that Garp defeated them, which is obviously a story fed to the people by the government, but then someone else makes it clear that the Rocks pirates are not team players and they fell because fighting themselves. Basically, this makes a lot of sense, right? We already know that they literally kill their own crewmates, stuff like that, so it does make sense that eventually someone probably betrayed them, probably Whitebeard, and they fell. And this honestly makes the most sense. Rocks is literally the strongest person Roger's ever fought. If Rocks is the strongest opponent Roger's ever had, how did they defeat Rocks? The answer is Whitebeard. On the day God Valley fell, Whitebeard switched sides and joined Roger in order to defeat Rocks once and for all. This is a very popular theory within the community, and with the information we have, I think it would make a lot of sense. Whitebeard and Roger are shown to be much friendlier with each other than they are with Kaido and Big Mom, so it is possible on the day God Valley fell, Whitebeard joined Roger and turned the tides of the battle. This would also explain why Kaido went to Marineford after Whitebeard. He probably wanted to settle a score because I think Rocks and Kaido might have had a real relationship and he was Rocks' apprentice. So to see Whitebeard betray the crew probably made Kaido very angry, and I think maybe he wanted to kill Whitebeard, right? Some people think that Kaido went to Marineford so he could find a place to die. That's just stupid. Nobody in Marineford can even kill Kaido besides maybe a Kainu, maybe, and he's kind of preoccupied getting like destroyed. So like, I'm gonna be real with you, judging from what we've seen out of Kaido in the Wano arc, if he showed up to Marineford, the only two people who have a chance are Akainu and Whitebeard. And the only reason Akainu has a chance is because of his devil fruit. That's the only reason. And judging from what we've seen out of Kaido in the Wano arc, I'd say if Kaido showed up to Marineford, he probably would have slaughtered everybody, so it's a good thing Shanks stopped him, however he did. Now, I'm not really sure what happened to Kaido at the end of God Valley, but there are some things that we will not know until the story gets revealed. But all I know for sure is that Garp and Roger did not solo the Rocks pirates. At the very least, we know Rayleigh was there thanks to Film Red. We know this because Roger and Rayleigh discovered Shanks on the island 38 years ago in a small treasure chest, and this is another popular theory that has been proven to be correct. Recently, a lot of fan theories have been confirmed, so this is pretty cool to see. We also learned that Shanks belongs to the Fear Land family, according to the Gorosei, which could mean that Shanks was born a celestial dragon. Again, another fan theory that is basically being confirmed, and that would explain why the Gorosei met with Shanks and why Sengoku stopped the war for Shanks. So basically, Shanks is what Doflamingo could have been, except he's much more of a stud, but this dude has also been exposed in the Admirals recently, so I'm definitely going to make a video scaling Shanks with the best ability I can. I haven't even seen him fight for real, so I can't do like a really in-depth video. It's gonna be mostly my opinion, but I'll try and do a video scaling Shanks. That should be everything we know so far about the God Valley incident. I have no idea how the battle went down exactly, but I do know that Oda will probably have to give us a detailed flashback later in the series, and I cannot wait. But in a short summary to recap everything we talked about, Roger, Garp, and some of the Roger pirates helped stop the Rocks pirates, and some of the Rocks members betrayed the crew, and that led to their demise. And we also know Shanks was discovered on that island 38 years ago, and Rocks' reign of terror was over. Or was it?